All right, so far we've covered the essentials of this starter kit. At this point, you have a GitHub account. You've gone in and you've made some changes to my test-list.txt file. And then you probably waited for me to merge your pull request. Once I've done that, you probably received an email or you'll see a notification in your own GitHub account. And if you go back to Workshop Maybe and you look at test-list.txt, you should see your changes reflected here at the bottom of the file. Now, when I talk about starter kits, I really mean that we're just getting started, okay? You have enough to go in and mess around with other projects, but I didn't show you everything. I didn't show you how to fork a project directly. I didn't show you how to choose to create a branch of a project. All we did is we clicked the edit button over here, and those steps happened automatically for you. If you're comfortable with what you've done so far, I definitely recommend going deeper into the GitHub training materials. They're really good, and I don't feel the need to reinvent any of that. What I'd much rather do is leave you to those experts and to these excellent training materials. We'll take a look at those at the end of this video. What I do want to look at is after I have on my end merged your pull request to make changes to this file right here, I want to show you how to manage what you'll see on your end. Okay, so I'm going to leave the Workshop Maybe GitHub account, and I'm going to head over here to my GitHub account. This is my personal account. And when you look at this, you'll see at the top of the page, this branch is 23 commits behind Workshop Maybe Master. This, what I have in my repository, is way behind the file as it now exists. But there's more to it than that. Notice up here, there are two branches of this repository, right? Notice the account, two branches. If I go back to Workshop Maybe, how many branches are there? Let's take a look. There's only one. There is the master branch and no others. But if I look at my account and I click the same drop-down menu, I'll actually see the master branch, and I see this one called patch-number. In my case, it's 5 because I had a few of them open. For you, it might be patch-1. This patch is only 4 commits behind Workshop Maybe Master. And when I look at the file, I'll see, oh wow, okay, actually, this has everything that I saw yesterday, including what I committed to this file. What I'm missing is anything else that's happened since then. So if other people have added their own commits to this file, made pull requests to me, and I've merged those into the doc, you might be any amount behind. All right, let's think about what we have now. We have our eyes on the Workshop Maybe Master repository, which is up to date with all the most recent changes that have been made. We have a fork of that repository in my personal GitHub account that's way behind the master. And then I have this branch, in my case patch 5, that's only 4 commits behind the master. Now, to be clear, I could simply go ahead and sync my master up with the Workshop Maybe Master, and that would be more efficient. But I'm going to go an inefficient route right now to show you first what it looks like to make sure my patch, any of the most recent changes, commits to my patch, are reflected in my master branch. And then we're going to see that the difference still exists, right, between what I have right here in this patch and what I'm about to have in my master. And then we'll sync up with the main fork. All right, so let's first go over here. Remember, this branch is 23 commits behind. This one is only 4 behind. So if I go into my pull requests tab and I make a new pull request, and I say, all right, well, I want to bring the new changes to here, to my master branch. And what am I comparing those to? I want to see what patch 5 has, right? I want to see if I can bring these changes, this direction, this arrow, into here. And how many are there? Well, no surprise, there's 23, take away 4. There's 19 commits that are reflected in patch 5 that aren't yet reflected in the master branch. It says I should be able to do this. It says able to merge. Let's create that request. All right. From James Dunseith, patch 5 to James Dunseith, whoops, master. I'll just write that as a note to myself. Okay, I create this pull request, and then I see it in my own account. What can I do with it? Well, I can go take a look at it now because I own this repository. And that gives me the ability to scroll through to look at what changes have happened. I can decide whether to look at those or not, but basically, if I trust that list, if I just want to be up to date, I can say, all right, yeah, let's do it. Let's confirm that. And now it says, okay, it's successfully merged and closed. There's a new action word for us. And I get this message that this patch 5 branch can be safely deleted. All right, so let's clean up. Now I delete that branch. It's still here if I want to go back to it. I'm going to go back to the home page of this repository. Okay, so now I'm 1 commit ahead and 4 commits behind. All right, I hope that's okay. So let's see what we can do about this. What I want to do actually is I want to submit a pull request so I can get these changes, these other commits that are now on the workshop maybe project. So let's see. Yeah, it says I could merge my changes with workshop maybe, but that's not what I want. I want to get the changes that are over here and bring them into mine. So let's see, from this drop-down menu, yeah, let's put the changes into here. But then, oh no, okay, so now once I'm only thinking about my account, then I don't have the options to change anything here. So I have to look at this note above. Choose branches to see what's changed. If you need to, yeah, I want to compare across forks. And this is what I want. On my fork of the project, I want to bring in the changes from this one, which I know kind of is the owner of the project, so I want to make sure I'm up to date with them. So now I see what I want. I want to bring Workshop Maybe's latest changes into my copy of this project, into my repository. And when I scroll down, it looks like I'll be able to do that. And notice, oh wow, so now it's showing me here's the changes. Here's, yeah, this is that post we saw from Afro FinLab earlier. That is what we want to pull in. Okay, so latest updates from Workshop Maybe to James Dunseith. All right, this is just a note to myself so I know what this is. Get up to date. All right. Let's see. Is it possible? It's checking for us. It says it is. So let's try it. Confirm. And now, okay, is it done? It looks like it's done. Yep, I got the purple button there. Now, all right, now for some reason it says I'm 2 commits ahead, right? That's because I've just made some changes by pulling these in on my end. But what I'm most curious about is, do I have the same file as I see right here? 55 lines. Ends down here with these 2 newest posts. Let's go look at Workshop Here. 55 lines, and there are the latest posts. All right, we did it. We are now up to date. And the words we're going to use to describe what we just did is we just synced up, we synced the fork on my personal account to this repository from the latest version of this repository here at the owner's account. Right? So imagine anytime you're developing software, you can pull software and play with it on your own. You can customize open source software and projects and make them your own. You can commit those changes to your own repo if you want to keep them. If you're really proud of them and you think they add value to somebody else's project, you can submit a pull request to that person and they can choose to merge your work in with theirs. And whether or not that happens, if you want to stay up to date with your project, having all the latest changes made by any number of people to the original repository, you can follow that process I just showed you there, where you actually make this pull request that, right, and I could make another one right now if I wanted to propose any new changes I had. But remember, we want to swap this order, and to do that we compare across forks. And we make sure that we got this other repository feeding in to ours. Notice I could also, I could become a collaborator with some other people I meet here. We could go off and do our own work. We could start collaborating by sharing work with each other before we ever feed it back into the owner's master branch. All right. So a lot of possibilities here. Again, this is a starter kit. I bet you have questions, but now you've seen enough to go in, contribute to a project, wait for your changes to be accepted, and then later on to catch up so that any repository you're tracking, you can keep that up to date with the owner's fork. Okay. Cool. So one more time, I want to finish up by reminding you about what GitHub puts out there for all of us to learn from. They call it the Learning Lab. Here's the web address, lab.github.com. And this is just fantastic. This is project-based learning. I'm really impressed by what folks have done here. And I do recommend you taking a look around here and diving into some of these introduction courses. All three of these are great. You'll see in my own workshop, maybe GitHub repo, you'll see that I've been working through some of these projects as well. And I'm going to keep building on those to kind of show that you can use these courses as starting points for your own work, your own practice, using GitHub, but also using the different things that they're teaching about in this course. Cool. All right, so now that we've covered these basics, now let's get to the fun part. In the next part of this starter kit, we're actually going to take a look at the Marlowe playground and just dip our toes into writing some smart contracts in Marlowe. See you there.